If you've ever woken up and couldn't move, eyes open, body locked, listen to me. Do not stare at the darkest part of your room. That's where it stands. That's where it stood for me. And the reason it chose that spot is the part I didn't figure out until the last night. Before we begin, please like, share, and comment on where and what time everyone is watching this, so that way I have a better time on when to post new content for everyone. I appreciate everyone who takes time out of their day to view my content. Thank you, grab your snacks, and let's begin. It started during a week when I was running on fumes. Finals, a job, a breakup. My brain was a browser with 1,000 tabs. I'd crash at 2 a.m., roll over at 6, repeat. On Tuesday, I woke up in my bed like normal. Except my body forgot me. I could move only my eyes. Everything else felt poured in concrete. I told myself, it's fine, you're dreaming, wait it out. Then I made the mistake everyone makes. I looked at the corner by my closet. Too long. There was a shape there, head tilted, shoulders wrong, like a person with all the parts but none of the seams lining up. I tried to inhale. My chest said no. The thing glided, no footsteps, just subtraction of space, until it was next to my face. Cold air rushed over my ear, and the power in my limbs snapped back like rubber. I sprang up and hit the lamp so hard the bulb flickered. Empty room, silent phone, heart sprinting. Welcome to my first bout of sleep paralysis. I Googled it like everyone. Rematonia, stress, dehydration, snacks before bed. Cool, science. I drank water, set a podcast to boring professor voice, and promised myself I'd laugh about it tomorrow. Night 2, 3:14 a.m. My eyes opened like a trap, locked again. No monster this time, just sound. A thin, insecty tap 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 coming from my closet door. Slow at first, then faster, like rain that hasn't made up its mind. I couldn't move. I could only count. 7 taps, pause. 7 taps, pause. Then the taps climbed the door, crossed the ceiling, and stopped directly above my face. A single tap an inch from my forehead. When my arms finally obeyed, I swatted the air like I was fighting a mosquito I couldn't see. Light on. Nothing on the ceiling except the stupid crack I keep meaning to spackle. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. By Thursday, I was a ghost. People talked to me and I smiled on delay. That evening, I decided I was going to win this thing. I cleaned the room, shoved a towel under the closet, and moved a chair to block it. I put on a sleep mask like a kid's magic trick. If I can't see you, you can't see me. I set my phone face down and told myself, if it happens, don't panic. Think of it like a muscle cramp. Breathe through it. It happened in under an hour. I woke to pressure on the bed like someone had just sat down. Heavy, not cruel, but confident. Mask on, body locked, and then breathe. Close enough to fog a mirror. It didn't sound like an animal. It sounded like a person learning how to breathe for the first time. Too deep, too careful. Something cold touched the back of my hand. A fingertip? Ice? I don't know. The bed dipped closer to my ribs, and the breathing synced with mine, like it was trying to borrow the rhythm. When my arms finally came back, I ripped the mask off and threw the lamp on. Empty room. Immaculate closet perimeter. Chair unmoved. But on the nightstand was a new thing. A fine dusting of gray, like ash, in a tiny oval right where my hand had been. I told myself it was lint. It's always lint. Friday is where the story turns. My building has this old hallway light that trips the power sometimes. Maintenance came while I was at work and left a paper on my door. Breaker reset, light fixed. When I walked in that night, the apartment felt brighter. Not energy, actual light. I could see into the closet corner from my bed. No more shadow pool. I slept like a rock. Nothing sat on my bed. No tapping, no breath. I woke up ecstatic, like I'd outsmarted a superstition. Lights, 1. Darkness, 0. Saturday, I went to stay with my dad to help him pack for a move. His house is a time capsule. Wood paneling, the good couch you can't sit on, a clock that's been 1 minute fast since 2003. He fell asleep in the recliner, TV humming some documentary, so I took the spare room. The second I turned off the lamp, the room became ocean black. I told myself I was fine. I was not fine. At 2:19 a.m., I woke up welded to the mattress. The door to the hall was cracked. Through it, the blue pulse of the TV rose and fell. In that strobe of light, something leaned in from the hallway, slow, deliberate, like it was checking if I was awake. A silhouette of a head and shoulders, a hand on the door frame. The TV brightened. The silhouette slid away. The next pulse was closer, at the foot of the bed. The next pulse, closer still. The outline of a face too long, cheekbones too high, mouth too wide. I couldn't move, I couldn't scream, but I could blink. And with every blink it was nearer until the last pulse lined its face perfectly with mine. Its mouth opened, not like a scream, like an inhale, and the room went absolutely black. No TV, no streetlight bleed, nothing. The bed dropped half an inch like something heavy had climbed on top of me. I thought, this is the part where people say they died for a minute. And then, my phone lit up under my pillow. A stupid calendar notification about paying a bill. The rectangular glow cut the room in two, and as soon as light hit my face, control hit my hands. I jackknifed up, gasping. The hallway was empty. The TV was still on, just dim. My heart sounded like someone knocking from inside my ribs. I wasn't going to let it win by stealing sleep from me. I turned on the bedside lamp and left it on. I slept in splotches until morning. Coffee tasted like medicine. Sunday I went home and decided I was done being prey. If light helped, I was turning my room into noon. I swapped my dead bulb for a daylight LED. I bought a motion nightlight for the floor. I pushed the bed 2 feet so I could see every corner without lifting my head. It looked ridiculous. I didn't care. That night, with the light low but on, I fell asleep in minutes. My brain knew it was safe. And maybe that's why when I woke up paralyzed again, something different happened. There was no shape by the closet. No breath. No taps. Just humming. A faint electrical hum is coming from the wall behind my headboard. It sounded almost like the room was clearing its throat. The hairs on my arm prickled. I remembered a post I read once about certain frequencies triggering that someone's in here feeling. What if this wasn't a who? What if it was a what? When my hands came back, I slid the bed another inch and pressed my ear to the wall. The hum got louder. I traced it left, right, up, and stopped where the wall met the ceiling. The corner where the old ceiling light wiring ran. The exact spot that used to cast a big soft shadow over my closet when the switch was off. The place where the darkness pooled. I turned the wall switch off. The hum softened, then stopped. My room fell back into that familiar charcoal. I stared at the closet corner and like an optical illusion snapping into place, the old shape seemed to fill it again. Long face, wrong shoulders. I flicked the switch on. Light carved the shape into nothing, and my chest loosened. Was my monster a shadow map my brain kept mistaking for a person? Was the hum tripping me when I was half in and half out of sleep? I don't have a lab. I have a studio with bad wiring. But the way the light erased it, like soap cutting grease, made me believe that whatever I'd been seeing lived exactly where light couldn't reach. I still had one thing I needed to try. I set my phone's flashlight to turn on with a tap and tucked it under my pillow again. Then I turned the lamp off and waited, not afraid this time, just ready. Sometime after 3, I woke up locked, staring at the dark closet corner. The shape was there, patient. I didn't test it. I tapped the phone through the pillow. A blade of light cut up through the fabric, split the shape at the rib cage, and in that exact instant, my body switched back on like someone had hit a circuit breaker. I sat up. The shadow fell apart into chair, jacket, door, nothing mystical. I started laughing. Real, tired, grateful laughter. Not because sleep paralysis isn't terrifying, it is, but because I finally had a lever I could pull. Here's what changed after that. I keep a nightlight at ankle level. I don't aim the brightest light at my face. I aim it at the corners that used to swallow shapes. I still get episodes sometimes when I'm stressed. My body still forgets me now and then, but the thing in the corner, it hasn't been visited in months. Or maybe it has, and light makes it shy. One last thing. A few weeks later, I was packing a box at my dad's old place. I climbed the hall chair to take down the ancient light fixture, the one that always dimmed on its own, and found a loose wire cap under the bell. I tightened it, turned the switch, and that hallway went from haunted to ordinary in one click. I stood there with the screwdriver, smiling like an idiot. If you wake up frozen and something waits where the dark is thickest, don't stare back. Find a way to move light before you move anything else. Maybe your monster is a shadow wearing your fear like a coat. Maybe it's something else. Either way, I'm not giving it half a room ever again. Believe me or don't. Just keep a light where it matters.